everyone, Miss Carrie here from Miss Carrie's Creations. I'm going to show you how quickly you can create cards using your leftover scrapbook supplies. I can't wait to share this project with you. On my desk, I have the July Project Life Kit from HipKit Club. This kit includes 2 double-sided cut-apart pages with tags, tabs, labels, and mini word and phrases strips, which can be cut out with these 2 metal dies from HipKit. These are not included in the kit, but they are great to have if you enjoy Project Life collections. A few of these dies also match up with the stamps, which is another great excuse to grab them. Now, I'm going to warn you that I am not a Pocket Life memory keeper, but I do enjoy using these cut-apart journaling cards on my full-size scrapbook pages and in my traveler's notebooks. It's difficult to find patterns that are scaled to TN pages, which is why I prefer Project Life kits over full-size designs. These vary in size for your 3x4, 4x6, 3x6, and 3x8 pages. At the end of this collection, there are 6 sheets of coordinating pattern papers, which pair beautifully with the full-size patterns in the main kit. These have been recently designed to be 2-sided, which gives you even more options for your pocket albums. Each Project Life kit also includes a 4x6 clear stamp set, which I enjoy using on my scrapbooks, cards, and in planners. Today, I'm going to show you how to make a few handmade cards with this stamp and some of the pocket cards that you might have left over after scrapbooking. As I create the cards, I'll bring in a few additional supplies. I'll list those in the description below, along with a link to this Project Life collection. Before I start creating the cards, I want to cut out all these little icons and labels using the metal dies. There are 2 sets on each sheet, and they match up perfectly with the cutouts. I like to use some temporary tape to hold the die in place before I run them through my machine. I'm going to go ahead and do that off camera, and then we'll start putting together the cards. I have selected a few of the project cards for my card backgrounds. The smaller cards are 4x6 or 3x4, so I'll have to plan for a 4x5¼ background, which is going to give me a little bit of a border on my A2 size card base. Some of these cards do have journaling lines, but those can easily be covered with one of the patterned project cards. On this card design, I'm also going to add a 1/2-inch strip of trim, which I'm cutting from this 3x4 card. Often when I'm using Project Life kits, I have leftover journal cards or pieces of a pocket card that I didn't use, and this is a great way to use up those scraps. I'm also going to add one of the tabs from the cut-apart card here at the top for a little pop of yellow. Now, if you're not a card maker, you could use this design in your pocket album. Layering cards like this gives your album a unique look and feel. The larger journal card says sunshine and good times, which I'm going to use as the sentiment. I'm going to build onto that by stamping the words "Hooray for" on that little tab. Most of the icons and phrases on the monthly Project Life stamps can be used for your cards, which is why I enjoy using them so much. Included in the July embellishment kit is a stitching template. If you watch any of my videos, you know that I love adding stitching to my projects, so I'm using this to create a little zigzag below the tab. I have placed this on a foam pad, and I've taped the template in place. I'm using a die removal tool to pierce a wavy stitching design along the base of that tab. I'm piercing every other stitch on the line above and below the edge of the tab to create a zigzag pattern. Once the holes are in place, I can use some sewing thread to create a decorative design. This is a really simple stitch on a small area of the card. So if you've never added stitching to your projects before, this is a great one for you to try. While I finish adding the last few stitches, I would love it if you tap that subscribe button and let me know that you're new here. If you're already a subscriber, let me know that you enjoyed today's video by tapping the thumbs up icon or leaving me a comment below. I would love to know if you plan on adding some stitching to your projects using this new template. All right, now that those little stitches are in place, all I have to do is add a few embellishments. I don't know about you, but I always have leftover chipboard and die cut pieces when I'm finished using a kit. These are perfect for your card designs. I embellish my cards a lot like I embellish my scrapbook pages. I like to duplicate colors and shapes, add vertical and horizontal lines, and create visual triangles. On this design, I brought in a vertical line with the chipboard surfboards. The colors on these match the sentiment at the top of the card. I layered 3 die-cut flowers in similar colors over the top of the surfboards, and I tucked some cardstock leaves below. These were cut using the tropical leaf dies. To finish off the design, I added another horizontal sentiment and a seashell in bright yellow to match the tab at the top. This card came together really quickly, and it's a simple design that you can replicate with your leftover Project Life cards and embellishments. The second card is going to be a chunky slimline. I'm using one of the 3x6 journal cards for this. I have already backed it in some tropical pink cardstock, and I'm going to add a sentiment using the Project Life stamp set. I have placed this card base onto a stamping platform. I only have one of these cards, and I would hate to make a mistake while stamping with a block. I went ahead and stamped the word Fun Times in black, and now I'm going to bring in a second stamp to build onto that sentiment. This little stamp says Today's Adventure. On this card, I'm going to use 2 of those little banners from the cut apart sheet. Banners, labels, and circle shapes are great embellishments for cards. Over the top, I'm bringing in another die-cut flower. Just like last time, I bent the petals in the center to give these a little bit of dimension. If you're like me, there are often a few pieces in a kit that you know you aren't going to use in your scrapbook pages. We don't live near a beach or plan on visiting a beach, so I knew that I would not use the palm trees or the van on any of my layouts. Instead of storing them away for someday, I set aside these pieces for cards. I just layered 2 little puffy stickers behind the van, and it created an adorable scene on the card. All right, let's take a look at the 2 card designs we created today with our leftover Project Life pieces and embellishments. The first card is a standard A2 size. I used pattern cards to cover up the journal lines, and I made the words on the card part of the sentiment. At the top, I stitched one of the little tabs in place using that stitching template. I layered chipboard and florals, but you can add just about anything to the base of this card. The chunky slimline turned out super cute with the van and palm trees. I used 2 stamps to create this simple sentiment and added a few of the cut apart banners, a chipboard phrase, and a flower at the top. This card is so simple and so cute. I shared 2 card designs with you today that are incredibly easy to create with leftover items from your Project Life or embellishment collection. Instead of packing away those unused items and forgetting about them, I encourage you to create a few card designs and send them off to brighten someone's day. Card making doesn't have to be complicated. It's much like scrapbooking, but on a smaller scale. Simple cards like this are fun to make when you're pressed for time or have no creative inspiration. If you're one who likes to pin photos to inspiration boards, I have added still shots of these cards in the HipKit Facebook group and on my website for you to use. I want to thank you for joining me for another card making project. If you would like to see more of my creations, you can visit my channel or follow Miss Carrie's Creations online. If you have any questions about this project or the supplies listed below, feel free to leave me a comment. I hope that you have a wonderful week, and I can't wait to see what you create.